Hey, it's Juck. We are not bemoaning the noon kickoff. We are now owning it. It's a badge of honor. We're the lunatic fringe that defines our coach's legacy when it comes to this game. They don't get to define that outside the family. We're cut from a different cloth for Ohioans. He's got it all, man. He's even got the jaw. You know the jaw. You see that jaw and you're just like, yeah, man, that's a dude. Do I want Michigan to beat Oklahoma? No way in hell. I don't know what world I'm living in. This is insane to me. And if you saw my outburst, I apologize. It's showtime now. Welcome into Juck on Bucks. Appreciate you so much for joining me. We have got a Buckeye offer to go over that could potentially solidify one of the position groups for Ohio State in the class of 2026. Kind of got fluffed under the radar here by all the stuff that was going on this weekend, but certainly a pretty big deal, I think, as well as a miss from a kid from the state of Ohio that is going to haunt us for years to come. We will go over that as well. Also, a few questions that I think are coming Ryan Day's way today at about noon as he takes the stage for his press conference. And, you know, sometimes that's what happens when you let the young guys out of the barn, man. Everybody sees them and says, hold on, what about that guy? So we will get to that. But let's start with Bryce Underwood. I am not too big of a man to admit when I was wrong. I was certainly wrong about Bryce Underwood. And I don't mean I was wrong that I thought he was great or that I thought he was bad. I think ultimately he's going to be really, really good. And I think he had a terrible performance at Oklahoma. But there were some flashes, just like I thought they'd be, where I saw it and said, that's right there when he can get things dialed in and do things like that. You got yourself a dude right there. That's not what I was wrong with. I thought that they would go down there at Oklahoma and lose big. We were 4-4 on our picks this week. One of them was Oklahoma to cover easily. That puts us at 7-9 on the year, so not so great, but we'll get that back. Where I was wrong, and what I do love about the rivalry in general, is villains. The rivalry needs villains, people that are easy to hate. And I was having a hard time disliking Bryce Underwood. I totally misread this kid, man. I thought that, and it started back when that picture surfaced of him looking like he had a belly, right? And he didn't really have a belly. It was just a picture and the compression stuff that he was wearing. It was kind of pushing a little tiny bit of pudge out. And then he shot a picture with his shirt off and posted it and kind of had a little fun with it. And I love self-deprecating fun. It just came off as chill and like, people are making fun of me. Let me play with this. I was like, oh man, that's bad, because I really want to hate that guy and I don't hate him. I was way wrong, man. This dude's got a massive ego. Look at what Justin Spiro, this is the Michigan State guy who was big in on the entire the Stallions business and constantly putting out troll videos towards Michigan. But he put this out today, and it pretty much encapsulates this dude.
The whole Ohio.
I can.
You can. You can.
I can run this.
Yeah, it's over for Ohio State.
Nobody's seen a freshman like me.
Always remain humble.
All right, now we about to go hoop. Go dunk on some little.
Bryce Underwood had to be restrained by teammates and Michigan staffers. The 18-year-old berating junior running back Justice Haynes, hunting and chasing him down the sideline.
There's really nothing to say. I don't know. I'm a killer.
We can't take.
Now, out of all those little segments, look, it's a 17-year-old / 18-year-old. Remember, he just turned 18. Being a 17 or 18-year-old, I think the thing that irked me the most is when he said they've never seen a freshman like me. Because at this point, you've had plenty of coaching. You've had some media coaching. You know what you're supposed to say when you're asked, what do you think people should look out for this year from the Michigan offense? And you say, just me. They've never seen a freshman like me. We've seen plenty of freshmen like him. Plenty of freshmen who come in and look like in year 2 and year 3, they're going to be dominant freshmen. And that kind of ego is, look, it can be good in some cases. It can be a downfall in other cases. But I'll tell you what it is good for. It's great for the rivalry, because that dude is a perfect heel, man. That is an easy guy to dislike. And that will add fuel to the fire of the rivalry for a long, long time to go. As it stands, they obviously lost in Oklahoma, and now in their next 2 games, they're going to be led by Biff Poggi. If you're not familiar with Biff, Biff used to coach up there as an assistant under Harbaugh. Then he got his own gig at the University of Charlotte. Now Biff is back to be the interim head coach, and he will lead them onto onto Memorial Stadium to take on Nebraska. Here's Biff, known for wearing his cutoff shirts with old man side boob and all. I don't know if he's going to wear one of those. I sure hope it's warm enough that he can. That would be amazing. That is literally this guy when he coached Charlotte on the sideline as the head coach of the football team. And the funniest thing is this dude was like a Wall Street dude that left Wall Street to go do that. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm superficial, but there is a certain type of decorum. You dress for the occasion. That's what my pops always taught me. Dress for the occasion. Certainly not our man Biff Poggi. Let's move on to the Buckeyes offer over the weekend. And this is one that we saw coming maybe for a while now, as Ohio State's offensive line class, Tyler Bowen, has kind of, slowed down. There's not really anybody on the board right now. And it is a great class, just a 4-man class, the 2 Arizona kids and the 2 Ohio kids. The Ohio kids, you got 5-star Sam Greer out of Hoban, Max Riley out of Avon Lake. Sam's a tackle. Max is a bit of a swing man. And then our 2 kids from Arizona, Aaron Thomas, a true tackle, and Tucker Smith, a guard. So you got those 4 guys. What are you going to do next in a class where you probably wanted 5 or 6 guys? Looks like they're going to settle on 5, hopefully. And it looks like that guy just might be Landry Breedy out of Mentor, who's a guy that we thought may eventually get an offer. When Tyler Bowen saw his senior film, his junior film was lacking because he didn't play every game. He was injured a few times during the season. So Tyler Bowen saw his film and is now offered Landry Breedy. Landry Breedy listed at 6'5", 275. He is a 3-star across the board, but he's committed to NC State, and he really likes NC State. Will Tyler Bowen be able to flip him from NC State, a place he's been pretty dialed in with? It's interesting. I mean, a couple of years ago, we'd have said, of course, he's going to flip him from NC State. What is this, a joke? It's not even a question. This day and age, when you can, budget your revenue share onto a guy like this, or a guy like Jacob Weatherspoon, for instance, North Carolina, like he is more important to you at NC State or North Carolina than he is to Ohio State in the hierarchy of guys. So that factors in now. Now, I don't know how high up he is on NC State's board, and my ultimate thought is he does end up flipping to Ohio State, making the 5th offensive lineman in the class, and I'd be very happy about it. A 5-man offensive line class, 3 Ohioans, 2 from Arizona. That's a good recipe. But we'll see. It could be one of those situations where it's too little too late, which brings us to our big hit, a big hit. We have been hearing all offseason, and I've talked to you guys about it before. Chaz Coleman out of Warren Harding. Chaz Coleman, a 6'5" freak athlete that is an edge in Ohio State, tried to get in on him late in the cycle, and he was committed to Penn State. The Buckeyes were not able to get him off of Penn State. He ends up committing to Penn State, and all offseason, we have heard them. They call him the Chazmanian Devil. All right, cool. He's a cool freshman. You got a cool nickname for him. I suspect at some point in his career, he's going to be a dominant edge, but is he really going to play now? And the answer is yes, he's really going to play now. Not only did Chaz play, but take a look at what Chaz put up in game number 1, playing for the Knits. Penn State true freshman Chaz Coleman in week 2, 1 sack, 1 forced fumble, 5 quarterback pressures, a 96.8 pass rush grade, 50% win rate. And to add insult to injury, when we go further to Charles Powers, freshman standouts, you got DeCorian Moore and Jalen Cooper, Michael Fasusi, that's a 5-star lineman that Oklahoma got. And then you've got Chaz Coleman leading the way, and Zahir Mathis as well. Zahir Mathis, of course, the one-time Buckeye edge recruit. So those 2 guys at one point could have been Buckeyes. Zahir Mathis, Bucks, the situation with him was a little different. They were trying to milk for more money, and it didn't rub people the right way. And in those particular cases, whatever, you're going to let him go. Kid's going to go sign with Maryland. The kind of, what he's up to, right? He's not from Maryland either. He's a Pennsylvania kid. So the big one here is Chaz Coleman. If you would have locked down Chaz Coleman, you could have had a 3-man class with Chaz Coleman, and then you went and got Epi after Chaz said no. So Epi was the final guy in that in that run there. You got Grady, then you were going after Chaz Coleman, missed on him, and then went and got Epi. I am not saying I would like to have Epi or Chaz over Epi or Zion Grady. I'm saying you could have very much used 3. You're low this year. It would have been great, and it's a kid from Warren Harding, and seeing him go to Penn State and being dominant as a freshman is a big blow, man. That's a big blow, and it's all because Ohio State waited too long and slow played an Ohio kid, and we've talked about that a million times, and that it drives us insane. It drives us insane. Clearly, that dude deserved an offer and a look way earlier than he got it. So we'll have to deal with that. Not sure if you guys have heard this controversy today about Arch Manning, but Arch apparently was captured on camera during the Texas and whoever the hell they played, San Jose game, 38-7 they won, but kind of grimacing as he throws. Now, it has since been dug up that this is a picture of Arch from last year. This is apparently just a thing he does. He grimaces when he throws, and I guess an involuntary action here. But before this came out, that this is just a thing that he does, the press reporters at Texas had Steve Sarkisian. He does his press conferences Monday, Ryan Day Tuesday. So they asked him on Monday at his press conference about Arch.
Arch Manning seemed to be having some throwing pains by the
According to
fourth quarter.
who?
Arch?
Arch said that to you?
No.
Oh, according to who?
It just looked like he was.
He doesn't have any.
Is there an explanation to why it looked like that?
I don't know. I've never filmed any of you guys when you're using the bathroom, so I don't know what faces you make when you're doing that.
Interesting. So obviously he knew that was coming. He had that canned reply ready to go. And when the guy told him Arch said it, he almost looked panic. Arch told you that? I think there's something here. I think there is something here. I think the kid is a little bit injured, and they're trying to keep it out of the press. Nonetheless, he does definitely make that face. But two things can be true at once. He could have a little bit of an injury from his time up at Ohio State. Wouldn't surprise me at all. And also make a very funny face when he throws. I don't understand that. That's one of the first times I think we've ever seen something like this as a involuntary habit from a quarterback. But one thing's for sure, everybody's going to be looking at that from now on when they watch Arch Manning. I want to see that face, man, the Arch face. It's Arch face, man. It's got a name now. It's Arch face. Anyway, Ryan Day presser today. Obviously, we know what he's going to be asked about, right? Bo Jackson, Mylan Graham, Riley Pettijohn, Bo Jackson. It's coming. Curious to see what Ryan Day has to say. And if he's going to use those words, as he often does, to spur on the guys who are currently above them on the depth chart to maybe get better, do better. Or if he goes the route of downplaying it like the spring game. In the spring game when Mylan Graham was loose on his ball security on that long run. That was the first thing that they pointed out afterwards. So that'll be really interesting. But that's all I got today. I'm sorry, guys. I got a bug running through the house. I'm trying my best to keep up and just wanted to get something out. I did the Buckeye Huddle primetime. And if you want a longer version of the show, over at Buckeye Huddle on Buckeye Huddle primetime last night, did about an hour with some I think a pretty interesting segment on 5 Buckeyes who were trending up and 5 who need to do a little better, along with the normal hijinks and tomfoolery over on Buckeye Huddle primetime. So that's all I got for today. I do appreciate you, and I will talk to you soon. Juck 'em Bucks out.